Good morning everyone. Today let us start with the current affairs of December 9. Okay, the first current affairs is Mahua expelled from Lok Sabha, opposition MPs walkout. Okay, as we know, this news is coming from since 3 days. Trinamool Congress member Mahua Moitra. She was expelled from Lok Sabha on cash for query allegations. Okay, Parliamentary Affairs Minister Prahlad Joshi, he moved a resolution for her removal. Who is our Parliament Affairs Minister? Prahlad Joshi moved a resolution for her removal, and he told that her continuance as an MP was untenable and her conduct was unbecoming of an MP. Okay, Miss Mahua Moitra, an MP from Trinamool Congress, was accused of taking bribes from a businessman based in Dubai, Darshan Hirambadi, for asking questions in Parliament. So, Parliamentary Ethics Committee conducted an inquiry against her and the committee recommended to removal. Okay, but here the opposition is accusing that they were not given a representation to express their views. Okay, in this context, let us study about Ethics Committee and Privileges Committee. Role of Ethics Committee. Ethics Committee was constituted in the year 2000 to oversee the moral and ethical conduct of members in Lok Sabha. Okay, it was constituted in the year 2000 and it examines the complaints against members by other members, outsiders or those referred by the speaker. So, who can complain against the members? Other parliament members or may be referred by the speaker. Okay, it prima facie, it majorly conducts the investigation. Okay, it primarily conducts an investigation before examining the complaint. Okay, and the report was submitted to the speaker. The report of ethics committee submitted to speaker. There are past instances where ethics committee recommended suspension based on unethical behavior. And one more important committee is privilege committee. Privilege committee examines more serious accusations. Means more serious accusations were examined by privileges committee, and one thing to be remembered is privileges committee is also known as special inquiry committee. Okay. This committee investigates serious allegations such as promoting business interests, financial gains, or involvement in scandals or cash for curry, etc. Okay, this is not the first time where an MP was suspended for cash for query allegation. In 2005 also, a special committee recommended suspension on the basis of cash for query scam. 10 Lok Sabha MPs were suspended in 2005. Okay, if we see the constitutional validity, we have privileges of the members of parliament in Article 101. But it mentions only grounds for the MP seat vacation. Article 101 only mentions about vacation of seats. But there is no provision explicitly, there is no mention of vacation of seats in the constitution. Okay, there is no explicit provision regarding expulsion in Article 101 of the constitution. It majorly deals about vacation of the seats. Okay, and there are conflicting judgments regarding expulsion. In one of the case, Raja Rampal versus Honorable Speaker, Supreme Court upheld the Parliament power to expel. But in another case, Amarinder versus Special Committee Punjab, it says that expulsion by state legislature is unconstitutional. So, there is no clarity regarding expulsion powers of the Parliament. Okay, as we recently see, there are elections in Mizoram. In now Laldu Homa, who is the head of Zoro People's Movement Party, ZPM party, is sworn in as chief minister. Okay, it is very important. Who is the CM of Mizoram at present? Laldu Homa. And in group 1 we have a question regarding, in last group 1 we have a question regarding the women minister of Nagaland. So here for the first time Mizoram Assembly is giving place to an woman, Lal Rini Pui, who is representing Lunglei East constituency. She was given a place in cabinet and she is the first woman minister to represent in the cabinet. Okay, she holds the portfolio of health, social welfare, tribal affairs, women and child development, tourism. Okay, Lal Rupoi, she is representing Lunglei constituency and she is the first woman to be represented in the cabinet. She is holding health, social affairs, tribal affairs, women and child development ministries. Okay. Now let us move on to the next news. Next news is regarding the climate change. An icy warning, threats from glaciers should be in the same risk category as cyclones and quakes. Okay, we have there is a report of World Meteorological Organization report Global Climate 2011 to 20. It gives a broad view of planet's response to greenhouse gas emissions and state of glacial health. Okay, what is happening because of greenhouse gas emissions and the state of glaciers health. So one important point that it says that the world glacier was thinned by 1 meter. Okay, world glaciers reduced or thinned by 1 meter in the decade of 2011 to 20. Okay, this is a significant decline. It represents the severity of the climate change. The overall pattern remains that glaciers in all regions of the world are becoming smaller. Okay, if we see in Africa also Rwenzori mountain and Mount Kenya are projected to disappear. Means these mountains which are filled with ice are projected to disappear by 2030 as per this report. And this report also mentions about increased chance of likelihood of glacier lake outburst floods. Okay, this report says that because of increased climate change, glacial melts, we have witnessed one of the worst flood disasters in our country, that is Uttarakhand floods of June 2013. So it is also one of the impact of climate change. Uttarakhand floods were mentioned in this report. Okay, this report also mentions about the recent, this year only we have one glacial lake outburst in the state of Sikkim. Okay, because of a melting of glacier, the dam, Chuntang Dam from South Lunak Lake, Chuntang Dam got overflowed and we witnessed one of the glacial lake outburst in Sikkim. So this report also mentioned about Sikkim glacial lake outburst. And there is one other report, Center for Integrated Mountain Development. It found that Hindu Kush Himalayas are disappearing by 65% faster because of greenhouse gas emissions. Okay, if it is continued, the temperature increase may reach 2.5 to 3 degrees centigrade and the Himalayas will decline. Volume of glaciers will be declined by 55% to 75%. So we may see sharp. So what is the importance of glacier? Glaciers provides us the fresh water. So this fresh water supply may reduce in the vicinity of around 2050 as per this report. And it also says that there is no early forecasting system in glacial lake outburst. But when compared with other disasters, we have when we take cyclones, floods, earthquakes, we provide early warnings and forecasting. But there is no early forecasting regarding this glacial lake outburst. So we have to develop early warning system. This article mentions also that one. Okay, new climate draft seeks tripling of renewable global energy capacity. Okay, this news is continuously coming since past 2-3 days. We have COP28 under the presidency of UAE UN Climate Summit going on in Dubai. Okay, in that there is one important deal is there. That deal is global stock outtake. Global stock take draft deal. So what are they saying in this deal? They are saying that increase your triple your renewable energy capacity. As per this deal, they are telling that triple your renewable energy capacity and phase out the fossil fuels. Okay, they are telling that you please phase out the fossil fuels. Why they are demanding phase out of the fossil fuels? Because they are demanding phase out of the fossil fuels. Okay, we have one treaty, global stock take. In COP28, they are asking in this treaty, please phase out fossil fuels, because 80% of the greenhouse gases are emitted because of the burning of fossil fuels. So they are negotiating in this treaty to phase out fossil fuels and triple the renewable energy capacity. Okay, they are asking to triple the renewable energy capacity by 2030. But what India is saying, so India abstained. India did not sign this deal. We have earlier COP26 summit in Glasgow. In Glasgow also, because of India's efforts only, they substituted the term phase out coal to phase down coal. So what India is demanding? India is demanding that you please provide us climate finance. Okay, India is demanding climate finance. Okay, please provide us climate finance. Many countries are committing, but no country is providing climate finance. If you don't provide climate finance, how can we transition to renewable energy and how can we meet our renewable energy needs? So India is mainly demanding climate finance for developing countries. Okay. Okay, this is one of the important news. And next news, Center revises wheat stock limits to rein in prices hoarding. Okay, Center is providing guidelines that it reduced the limit from 2000 tons to 1000 tons and for each retail outlet 5 tons. Okay, we have 70% of monthly installed capacity now. So they also mentioned that these guidelines came under removal of license requirements. Okay, these guidelines are provided under removal of license requirements, stock limits and movement restrictions specified under Foodstuffs Amendment Order 2003. Okay, and the Food Ministry asked all wheat stocking entities to register on stock limit portal. Okay, and the Food Ministry asked all wheat stocking entities to register on stock limit portal, and also it asked all entities which are trading in wheat to continuously provide how much stock they have. They have to update in this stock limit portal. Okay, why the Food Ministry is doing this means it is doing under Essential Commodities Act to prevent hoarding. Okay, to prevent hoarding and to ensure that there is no artificial scarcity of wheat in the country and to increase open supply. Okay, to increase supply in the open market. Okay, there is one more important news. Global emissions of fossil carbon dioxide hit record high in 2023 and India is the third largest emitter. Okay, India emits 8% of the global emissions and this increased by 8.2%. Okay, from fossil fuels grow by 5% and from coal it reached to 9.5%. Okay, from fossil fuels 5%. From coal it reached the highest 9.5%. Okay, we have 36.8 billion tons of carbon emissions. These are provided in Global Carbons Project 18th Annual Report Card. Okay, Global Carbon Project's 18th annual report card on state of global carbon budget. It also says that it is projected to emit complete 40.9 billion tons of CO2 are emitted just because of human activities. And the report also mentions that half of CO2 is removed by world vegetation and oceans. Okay. The remaining carbon budget 1 in 2 chance to limit warming to 1.5 degrees centigrade, and it is telling that by 15 years. So we can, if this continues, we can reach 1.5 degrees centigrade just in 7 years only, and 15 years we will cross 1.7 degrees centigrade. Okay, if we see the top emitter is China. It emits 31% of the global total, and fossil fuels, from fossil fuels its emissions increased by 4%. And second is US. US emits 14% of the global, but one important thing is US slowed down its fossil fuel emissions by 3%. Okay, it is very important for us to remember about India. So, okay, India is the third largest emitter as per Global Carbon Budget Project 18th annual report, and India's share is 8% of global. Okay, and it is increased by 8.2%. It increased by 8.2%. Okay, very important news regarding environment point of view. Next, we will our Prime Minister is urging the people to follow WED in India. Okay, PM Modi reiterates his call to hold destination wedding in the country. We know that many businessmen, industrialists, film stars are conducting their destination wedding in foreign countries. So because of that, they are promoting the economy of foreign countries. So like Made in India, Make in India, Prime Minister is urging in his Man Ki Baat program and also in Uttarakhand Global Investor Summit, you please conduct your destination weddings in India only, so that our economy will grow. Okay. Aditya L1 instrument captures full disk images of sun in near ultraviolet wavelengths. Okay, India's first solar mission Aditya L1 was launched by ISRO. Okay, this Aditya L1 has sent us a image. Okay, full disk image of sun was sent by it has one instrument SOOT, Solar Ultraviolet Imaging Telescope. It successfully captured the full disk images of sun in 200 to 400 wavelength. Okay, SOOT captured image of sun photosphere and chromosphere. Okay, it captured the images of photosphere and chromosphere also. Okay. SOOT captured the images of photosphere and chromosphere also. SOOT is made by Inter-University Astronomy Observatory. Okay, Inter-University Astronomy Observatory is IUACA made this SOOT, Solar Ultraviolet Imaging Telescope. Okay, this much about this news, and let us go to the next news. India's forex reserves at 604 billions per week ending December 1. Who are saying this? RBI is saying this. Okay, we crossed the $600 billion foreign exchange reserves after 4 months. Okay. Okay, we have to remember what comes in foreign exchange reserves. We have gold, reserve tranche position in IMF, special drawing rights, SDRs, and marketable securities. Marketable securities. These all come under the foreign exchange reserves. This was reported by RBI in bi-monthly monetary policy committee meeting. Okay, present we have $604 billion foreign exchange reserve. Okay, we have crossed $600 billion. This is that news only, and let us go to the last news. This is one of the important news from Telugu newspaper. It is saying that Telangana is the seed bowl of India. Telangana is the seed bowl of India. We are providing 40% of the seeds to the country. So we are meeting the 40% of seed requirements of the country, Telangana. Okay, in combined Warangal only we are cultivating seeds in 2 lakh acres. Okay, in combined Warangal in 2 lakh acres we are cultivating seeds in erstwhile Warangal district. Because of the cultivation of seeds, farmers are getting profits. Okay, and apart from cultivating, we are exporting seeds also. Okay, this article is mentioning Telangana as the seed bowl of India. This is an article in Namaste Telangana newspaper. Because of this seeds cultivation, we are getting farmer is getting 40,000 profit. Okay, 40,000 profit. Before this we used to get just 20,000 profit per acre. But apart from cultivating that, we are cultivating seeds also. Okay, this report was given by Telangana State Seed Development Corporation. This is one of the important news for TSPSC aspirants. We have recently Agni-1 missile. Agni-1 missile was tested from Abdul Kalam Island, Odisha. Earlier it is known as Wheeler Island. At present it is known as, we renamed it as Abdul Kalam Island in Odisha. Okay, this is tested by Strategic Forces Command of Armed Forces, and this test was successful. With logistic support from DRDO. They prepared this Agni-1 missile with logistic support from DRDO, Ministry of Defence. It is developed under Integrated Guided Missile Development Program. Okay, Agni-1 can target a very high degree of accuracy. Okay, it has very high degree of accuracy. We have total 6 Agni missiles. In Agni-1 the range is 700 kilometers, and recently we have Agni-5 also. It can move more than 5,000 kilometers. It is the advanced version. Agni-5 is the advanced version and it can go 5,000 kilometers away. Agni-2 is 2,000, Agni-3 3,500 and Agni-4 4,000. Okay, and just Agni-1 is just 15 meters long. It has both solid and liquid propellants and speed is 2.5 kilometers per second, and it can carry 12 tons and payload of about 100 kgs. The trial was conducted for 700 kilometers and it was successful after we have 2 failed attempts in 2014. With this, let us end today's current affair. Thank you.